Hey there, YouTube. We're back at it. This is Julie Jung, and welcome to my channel. We're talking about more German things today. And first of all, don't forget, I wanted to thank everyone who has subscribed so far. It means the world to me. And if you haven't subscribed, just take one little second right now and just hit that subscribe button. Helps me out a lot because YouTube is the hustle. We hustling out here. We trying to make it. So I thank you so much for subscribing and comments and all the things that you're supposed to do on this weird format and this weird thing that we do called YouTube. Who would have thought? Such a weird thing. Anyway, today we're talking, again, I always say we, not we, me, hi, Julie. I'm talking about looking for an apartment in Munich as opposed to searching for an apartment in New York City. And the process was quite different for my husband and I. When we were in New York, we looked online at apartments, and my husband was signed up for email, blah, 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 for apartments that were available. So we went and saw one apartment one day, and it was gorgeous in Queens. And we wanted to get it. So all we had to do was have a background check of our finances, like a credit score kind of thing. And they look at your income and income compared to how much the cost of the apartment is. You have to have a certain times number so that you can actually pay for the place. They run your credit. If you pass, then you get it. But sometimes you don't. I don't really understand all of the ins and outs of this process and how people are chosen. I guess you're on a list, and if you're at the top of the list and you pass the credit score, then bada bing, you get it. But we got it. So we moved into an apartment in Queens quite easily. It was now here's a difference as well. In the States, you will call an apartment that has one bedroom plus a living room, a one bedroom. In Germany, I think this is how it goes. A one bedroom would be a studio. So you only have one room. Correct me if I'm wrong. I probably am. But from what I've seen, you will tell the exact number of rooms in the description. So a 2-room apartment in Germany will be one bedroom and one living room. If you were to say, I guess you would say a 2-room apartment here, but in the States you would say 2-bedroom apartment, and that would mean 2 bedrooms, a living room. So the living room isn't really counted in the equation. It's kind of just, you're going to have a living room unless you get a studio, and a studio means just that. It's just one room. So when we were looking for an apartment in Munich, we wanted a 2-room apartment so we could have 1 bedroom and 1 living room. And before we got here, everyone told us, the naysayers, the doom and gloom, it will be so hard to find an apartment in Munich. You will wait for years. You will never find an apartment. So I went into it thinking, we're never finding a place. And even when we first got here, we didn't know where we were staying. So we were looking online, and we had some connections that were helping us find a place, but we didn't know anything about Munich and locations and where to find a place. So we were kind of looking blindly, and actually we lucked out. One of the people that my husband works with just happened to be going away for maternity leave to her home country the day before we arrived, or 2 days before, and she needed to sublease her apartment or flat, whatever you prefer. Fancy, we'll call it flat, it's fancy. She needed to sublease her flat for the first 4.5 months. So we immediately took over. It was fully furnished, fully functioning, and we had no problems. So coming into Munich, we had no problem finding a place. It was very close to my husband's new work, and all was well. So that was very easy. And I thought, well, if that was so easy, then maybe finding our real apartment won't be so difficult. But again, everyone said, oh my God, it will be the most hard thing you are ever doing in your life. And I did read stories online about people who waited and looked for months and 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 never found a place. I just don't understand why it's so difficult. I mean, it's hard in New York, so I get it. The demand does not, it's surpassing the resources. So it's very competitive to get an apartment in New York as well. So I just didn't know what to expect here. And everyone was saying, you will never find a place, you will never find a place. So I heard you could hire people to look for you, but you had to pay them a finder's fee, which was not cheap, not cheap. Normally it's even higher than your first month's rent. So it depends on who you use to find a place. You can go through an agency, I guess, or just like a single person who's looking for apartments. That's their job, but I guess you can do this. I don't really want to pay someone to find me an apartment, so we did not want to go that route. And people that my husband worked with said, hey, you could put an ad in the newspaper, because older people read the newspaper and they are often the type who have rooms or flats to rent out. So a great idea is to put an advert in the paper. My husband and I do not speak German yet. I know, shame, 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 shame. We do not speak German, so he needed some help. His colleagues helped him write up a little blip about us, what we were looking for, and we put it in the paper with a picture, a photo of us to make sure that we look nice. We look nice. And my husband is also a doctor. He has his PhD. So the title helps too. Titles are important in Germany. So we put that in the paper and we got some calls. And on one Sunday, we scheduled 3 different places to look at. So even that, like straight away, there were people contacting us. I didn't know if anyone would contact us because apparently it's the hardest thing in the world to find an apartment in Munich. So I was expecting crickets for months and months, but we actually got response straight away. We scheduled 3 different places to look at on a Sunday, and it was kind of like Goldilocks. No, not Goldilocks. The 3 little bears. You know, the bear that's looking for the porridge. It's too hot, too cold, just right. That's kind of how the day felt. We went to the first apartment. It was massive. I don't know how big it was. Ugh, I should remember, but I don't remember. They were charging a lot for what it was. I did not particularly like the style of this place, and it's furnished. So if you want to get your own things, you have to figure out how to get that stuff out of there. So the price was like 1,800 euros for everything. You would call it warm here. If it's cold, if the price is cold, that means it does not include heat and all the utilities. If it's warm, then it includes everything, I guess, or most things, some things. I guess you talk to the people about it too. So the warm price was around like 1,800 or 1,900 euros, which is higher than what we wanted to pay. It was big. It was 2 bedrooms, a living room, nice size kitchen, fully furnished, wraparound balcony, top floor. So it had a lot of sun. So I understand why it was expensive. We just didn't want to pay that much money. So we said maybe for that one. We went to the second place. It was a 2-room as well. So 1 bedroom, 1 living room, fully furnished, and warm price was around 1,600. So again, kind of more than we wanted to pay. The third place, which is where we live right now, it is a 3-room, so it's a 2-bedroom, 1 living room, smallish kitchen, but it's fine, and bathroom, nice bathroom, shower and everything. And the price, friends, it is $970, I think, warm. What? $970, including everything. So it's not furnished. It's in a fine area. It's in a nice area. there's no bad area in Munich, obviously. And the apartment was kind of like, why is this so cheap? So we talked about it, we thought about it, and we move it into the cheap place because it's great. It's beautiful. There are different ways to agree. No, what am I saying? Back it up. When you rent an apartment in New York, you have to pay 1 month's deposit, the first month's rent, and I believe that's it. But for the place we got in Queens, we had to pay like the first and the last month's rent and then a deposit. In Munich, I feel like there's no, or Germany, Munich, there's even question as to where do I say I am right now? Germany, Munich, apparently there are differences. In Munich, it can be very different depending on your landlord. So the first place we looked at, the expensive place, they wanted first month's rent, deposit, first month's rent paid. I mean, more or less, we had to come up with like 8,000 euros straight away. Oh, okay. So that's a lot of money. For us, that's a lot of money. We ain't rich. I'm not making the millions on YouTube yet. So that was a lot of money. Second place wanted less money for the deposit and everything altogether. I don't remember exactly how much. And they were willing to work with us and said, if you can't pay it all up front, that's fine. You can break it up. Wow, great. Then this place, all they wanted was 1 month's rent deposit and the first month's rent. Wow, that's phenomenal. So I just find it really interesting how wildly different these places are. And I guess it's the same in New York too. But the difference in rent is, wow. In New York, we were paying $2,750 a month. $2,750 per month for our 1 bedroom or 2 room, whatever you want to call it, apartment. It's the same amount of space as the apartment we have now. We have 65 square meters. Ooh, I'm still learning meters. 65 square meters. So it was the same size. Gorgeous. Gosh, I love that apartment. Skyline view. We had a rooftop. We were on the 3rd floor, but you could go up to the roof. Well, 4th floor. You could go up to the roof and you had skyline view. We had a gym in the building. It was just gorgeous. It was a new building and we were the first ones to live in that apartment. When we left that apartment, I cried so hard. Oh my God. I went to the top, to the roof, and I just was like looking at the lights. It was so beautiful. I love Manhattan. I love it. So I was very sad to leave that apartment and to trade the dazzling lights for dirndls and pretzels. I miss it. I love Munich. I do love Munich. But I do miss New York. So we were paying out the butt. That's an American expression for you. We're paying out the butt, yo, for this. Like, take my leg. And we were both working full time. So we had 2 incomes and we were kind of just making it. You know, we couldn't save a lot. And here our rent is about 1/3 because the $2,750 did not include utilities. Depending on the month, if it was very cold, you use the heat a lot, then we're paying about $3,000 a month. Not even to be in Manhattan. We are in Queens. We are across the river, skyline view, but taunting us. And still we were paying $3,000. We are now living in the city. We're living in Munich and not like downtown. Is there a downtown? It's all just the village. So we live in the city of Munich, and we're paying $1,100 around-ish compared to $3,000. Holy moly. So it is way cheaper here. It's way cheaper. Now, granted, the place we moved into is not furnished. Some odd things were we didn't have any lights. Like, there were no lights. So people, when they leave an apartment, can sometimes take everything. They're taking everything. They're taking the refrigerator. They're taking the stove. They're taking everything. So you have to bring all your own stuff. This place had a fridge and an oven and dishwasher. Cha-ching! But no lights. So thank the Lord. My husband knows how to put in the little things in the ceiling, because ya girl don't know how. I don't know how, and I would have electrocuted myself, and I would not be making this video because I'd be dead. So praise the Lord that my husband knows how to do those things, or he can figure it out, because he's smart. He's smart. He's smart in the head. So we had to put in our own lights, and there was nothing in here. But hey, we actually kind of prefer that now, because we could get all our own stuff, and we could really make it our own. And because we weren't paying $5 million trillion for rent, we could actually afford to get the things. So that was our experience. Now we're living in a lovely little apartment, making it our own. Maybe I'll do an apartment tour someday. Would that be fun? Would you like that? Would you like to see my apartment? I would love to invite you in to my home. We have a new wardrobe that my husband put together. Wanted to showcase that on this video. It's very beautiful. Thank you, IKEA. IKEA's the best, but getting it here is a little hard. We'll talk about that another time. So that was our experience with renting an apartment. I don't know if I talk so much about New York, the comparisons. I think the takeaway is New York is hella expensive. It's expensive. It's a lot of money. Munich is not as expensive. So for that, we are forever thankful, and we will stay here for all of time. I don't know if we'll stay here forever, but be here for a little while, I think. So that's it. That's all I want to talk about today. Just our experience of moving, finding a place. It was easy for us. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for everyone who is looking for an apartment and having a really, really hard time. It was easy for us. I'm so sorry. But maybe put an ad in the paper. That worked really well for us. And all we had to pay for was the advertisement. And it was like 20 euros for 3 months, compared to paying 1,500 euros for someone to find an apartment for us. And then we just flushing that money down the toilet. Bye. So I would do that. Ask friends. It's all the advice I can give you. I don't really know what else to do. So that's it for now. Subscribe. That would be great. Comment. Where do you live? Is it hard to find an apartment? Is it expensive? What's your experience? Germans, what do you think? Did I have a rare experience? Is it normally very difficult to find a place? And what about rent prices? I don't know what's normal. We saw from the high to what we have now, which I consider to be low. So what's the average? I don't even know. Follow me on Instagram, Waffles and Whimsy. I think that's it. So I'm probably forgetting everything. We're commenting, we're subscribing, we're liking. Gosh, there's so many things. And I'm talking to you next time. I'll see you. Take care. Be safe. Be nice. Be nice to each other on YouTube. Be nice and spread love, not hate. Catch you later. Peace out.